we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Mayor Eugene, Mayor Lucy Vinnis. I'm having a little trouble getting myself going here. So it's good to have you.
Great to be here.
I saw you downtown yesterday, walking the streets with the city manager, doing important stuff, I'm sure.
Well, and I'll tell you, I just mentioned this piece to you. We had just walked from a meeting and walked through downtown, and we walked past the library. And the library right now, as part of the summer activities downtown, has a piano sitting out in front. It's decorated, and anybody who wants to play the piano can play the piano. And,
that is so great. So they put the painted piano out front. So if you're a pianist in town, you can go down there and entertain people. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some really positive stuff going on. Because I walked through downtown Eugene yesterday, the park blocks, and I was stunned to see it looks so beautiful. And I mean, go ahead.
There's just a lot of great stuff happening downtown. So we've sort of furnished our open spaces. So the what we all call Kesey Square, is furnished and has now picnic tables as well as bistro tables, and then the park blocks also have little bistro tables with umbrellas and a couple of food carts and games and activities that are happening all throughout the week. So it's very lively and fun downtown.
It's unbelievable. Then they put on the side to kind of slow traffic and make it slow down just a little bit. They put these really cool big concrete planters that are painted kind of a pinkish red, and they're loaded with beautiful petunias that are pink, and then they're polka dot. The streets are painted like white with these big pink polka dots on it, so you really notice it. And I'm not being stupid or weird. I'm just it really looks different.
Right. It looks different, and I didn't mention this to you before we started, that the big deal is not just what we're doing with those park blocks now, which are a big deal, and it is an endeavor to sort of reactivate and re-engage the community in being downtown and enjoying being downtown. But the city and the county just made a really important deal with each other to do a land swap, and so that's really sort of the headliner news this month.
What's the swap? So this is the Butterfly parking lot, which a lot of people, I say that, they don't know what that is. I think I've been here so long I know what it is.
Right. So you will all recall that we used to have a city hall, and we don't anymore, and that's now an empty construction zone, that whole city block. And the city and the county have now made an agreement that the county is purchasing that former city hall block, and they're going to build a new big county courthouse there. And in exchange for that, the city has purchased the block that now houses, on Saturdays, the farmers market on the south side, and on the north side there's a parking structure that we all refer to as the Butterfly lot. So the city is purchasing that, and on the north side will be a new city hall, and then the south side of that lot will be a permanent home for the farmers market.
Now, when you say the south lot, is that the one with the big fountain in it?
No. Okay, so we are talking about there are, in the park blocks area, there are really 4 blocks. Originally it was all a single town square before we had roads running through it.
Okay.
So there's the southwest corner that has the fountain in it.
Okay.
There's the southeast corner that is the home to the Saturday market and has the stage area of the Saturday market.
Okay.
There is the northeast corner that has the Wayne Morse Speech Plaza.
Okay.
And then there is the
building.
northwest corner that has a parking lot and has the farmers market on Saturdays.
So you guys worked out, there was some kind of controversy that whoever donated the land in the beginning said it always had to be used for county.
So that still hasn't been resolved. We're optimistic about that, but the judge, who is a Coos Bay judge, because it had to be someone outside of Lane County,
right.
The Coos Bay judge will rule on the constraints around the old Skinner deed. But he wasn't willing to rule on that until it was clear that the city and the county had a deal to actually make an exchange, a land exchange. So now we are writing up that final agreement, and there are sort of 2 pieces. One is the sale price of each of the respective lots, and the other piece is a sort of intergovernmental agreement about what other things will go into play or need to be negotiated. Once we've signed all those things formally, then the judge will be willing to weigh in on the Skinner deed property. But we're expecting that all to go through.
Where would the city hall be when and if that is built?
So the city hall will be really where that parking structure is now.
Okay.
On the kind of north end of that block.
Okay, well that's exciting.
It's very, very exciting, and I think, you know, is another big step in terms of reactivating those blocks, because it means that now we'll have a city hall that faces into our traditional civic square, what was originally our civic square in Eugene. We'll have a city hall that faces on that will share that with a farmer's market. There will be, you know, constant bustle and activity and community engagement in that part of our city, which, you know, has struggled.
So let's go back to Kesey Square too, because they put you guys. So if you haven't been down there, so will the parking spots be replaced?
Well, that is, you know, that is the big issue. So some parking will have to be reactivated. We'll have to create parking elsewhere, and that is one of the parts of the intergovernmental agreement that we're all agreeing to, that we will discuss where that parking will go. But yes, there are 200 spaces in the butterfly lot, and so there are a couple of other places where we might be able to add parking. That will be under discussion.
I bet you the people like Jazzy Ladies Soup Kitchen, their little cafe there, the Park Cafe, all those are pretty excited, because it would be something nice to have something other than a parking lot using up beautiful, perfect downtown prime real estate.
That's right. I think, you know, one of the issues, as we have looked at our downtown, and we had a consulting firm that looked at our downtown, and one of the issues with that Park Blocks area is that most of the buildings are office buildings, and they have their backs to that park. They don't engage with that public space at all. And Jazzy Ladies is one of the companies that really does engage with that space. So yes, it will be very nice for them to have something positive to engage with.
And then you got Cascade Titles right there. They can come in and start. It's you guys, and I don't mean if you haven't been downtown and seen this, you really do have to go, because I just saw it yesterday, and I was really taken back, because it looks so different. And I know there's a lot of people out town, and you don't come downtown. You need to come visit and see what's different, because it is pretty. I mean, you know what I mean?
Wonderful. It's pretty wonderful.
But what I love about it too is what you can do with a simple planters, paint, some cute little tables and umbrellas, some picnic tables. Kesey Square is filled with picnic tables, and yesterday there was a singer out there, a woman singing, and then it was full all around of people engaging and having fun and talking, and I mean, it was like busy. I was actually like, I can't concentrate. There's too much going on down here. I need to go find a quiet place to sit.
The city has done simple things now. You know, they've invested more in just being able to power wash the sidewalks. So they've just been, you know, they've been street sweeping and power washing. So it's just brighter, cleaner. It's just more welcoming. And then, you know, the other date to circle on your calendar is Sunday, July 30th. There'll be a Sunday street, so it'll be open. There'll be a parade from Monroe Park down to the park blocks. So lots of activities downtown, and that's it. If you don't come down at any other time, that is the time to come down and sort of scope it out.
Yeah, see what's happening with that. Now, you guys, also, we want to remind you, we are at Provisions Market Hall at the 5th Street Marketplace downstairs. This is a place where you can come get fresh, farm fresh, organic vegetables. You get meat. Long's Meat Market is here, and you can get all kinds of fresh meat. They have a coffee shop with Wandering Goat Coffee. They make pizza down here. They have the best desserts and gelato and ice cream. They make their own ice cream here. In a few minutes, we're going to have someone come and talk to us about wine. They have one of the best wine bars around, and a selection, and they know what they're talking about, so you don't have to go in and figure it out. Tony, thanks, Rick. I know you had big concerns with downtown. I'm happy to see you excited about the progress. I think a lot of people, Tony, are excited about the progress. Okay, so he says, thank you, Mayor Vinnis and Council. So do this for me. We have a new city councilor.
We have a new city councilor.
Maybe next month we should see if we bring them on.
See if Jennifer wants to come. Jennifer Ye is our new Ward 4 city councilor. So she was appointed I'm losing track of time. I think it was a week ago Monday she was appointed. So she's now been through a couple of work sessions. She had to really hit the ground running. I think she's really going to be a terrific addition to the council.
Now, what is she?
She works for the Lane County Historical Museum.
Oh, okay.
She's a mother with a couple of teenage children. She was active with the Harlow Neighborhood Association, so she's been a neighborhood activist. She's used to working with lots of different kinds of people on issues that are somewhat controversial, so she knows how to ask questions, she knows how to work with people, very articulate, really ready to go. So
and Ward 4 is, George Poling resigned.
Ward 4,
So
right.
what area is that? For just people that don't know.
Well, so that's kind of northeast Eugene, basically.
Okay. So what else? We were talking earlier, and what else is going on?
Well, we had a very big week last week because we appointed Jennifer to her city council seat. We passed a budget, no small thing, and that included a very constructive compromise around ambulance funding and making sure that we had enough ambulances, and we met the concerns of the firemen themselves that, you know, they're overextended and they don't have all the equipment they need. So very good, brokered a very good compromise, the fire chief, the union, and the city manager. So the budget committee was able to pass that. We passed a transportation system plan, which is a 20-year plan for, you know, how we see our transportation system growing, and that the system plan is important to recognize that it's a project list. It's a 20-year project list, so they're not all funded.
Right.
And so the next step now is, you know, we prioritize which ones we do first, which ones we have funding for, how that goes forward. And an important piece there was a conversation about our climate recovery ordinance and our climate goals and reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, and a requirement on that TSP that kind of information would also be forthcoming from staff.
Somebody says, I'm also curious about what the deal with Uber and Lyft are that are coming here.
Well,
are they coming here at all?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, you know, it's one of those ongoing things. We, the city council a couple of years ago, Uber was here briefly. The city council had a couple of requirements of these ride-sharing programs that had to do with background checks and insurance. And Uber basically wasn't willing to meet those requirements. And so they just haven't come back. And, you know, the door is open, but they're really not willing to do what we've asked them to do. And the city council's expectation was to be a level playing field. We have cab companies in town. They meet those requirements of background checks and insurance, and Uber has it's a different model, and they don't want to adjust their model. And this city feels a responsibility to the public and to the riders. So it just kind of there's no action.
And this may not be us, but I'm going to ask. Lindsay's very involved in this kind of stuff. Any info about the state budget and the state hospital?
Oh, I should do my homework on that. I know that the funding for the state hospital did get reincorporated back into the budget, so it's not closing. I don't think there's any expansion, but it's staying and it's operational. So that's the good news. But I don't remember the numbers that were attached to that.
In terms of one of the issues we always talk about in here, and I think we should keep it in the forefront of, is just homelessness. And how are things going in terms of what we're doing with that? Because I think that is just a huge concern for all of us. It
is. It's so we're all working on it. The city staff, I'll have to say, just issued created a handbook on rest stops that they are going to use with anybody who's interested, any neighborhood association or neighborhood group that wants to talk about a rest stop in their area. This is a little handbook to talk about what are the sort of criteria around what kind of land is appropriate for that, what kind of siting, what you need to do, kind of.
Is a rest stop a place where people that folks that are homeless can put their trailers or mobile?
Well, a rest stop is different from car camping. So a rest stop are people who are not car camping. We have sort of 4 that we call rest stops, and then a 5th that is the Nightingale Health Sanctuary. And these are people live in their tents on pallets, but they're enclosed areas. They share, a space where they can cook. They have outhouses. They're managed right now by Community Supported Shelters, which is a nonprofit. So people apply to be admitted, and there are some criteria around behavior in order to stay in a rest stop, but it's gets people off the streets. It's inexpensive, and it's one of our sort of temporary emergency solutions for people who are living on our streets. And so the city's done a lot of work to try and promote that. The council wants to distribute the rest stops throughout the city, so the whole city is sort of shouldering the responsibility for providing for people in need. And the handbook is a big part of that. So that's one piece of breaking news. I have been continuing to work with a sort of a gradually expanding circle of people on a permanent shelter. In the budget, the council included kind of set aside some of the Comcast settlement funds of $1 million that the council wants invested in a permanent shelter. And so I've had a couple rounds of conversations of getting ready to plan the next one around how that permanent shelter would relate to the services we currently provide. How could it augment those services? How would our existing providers relate to that shelter? And there's definitely a concurrence about what people want to see in that.
Ashley asked a little bit earlier, is there any chance Eugene is looking at any kind of thing like Springfield has with a no panhandling kind of ordinance to stop that from happening?
The Springfield ordinance is, we are not, and we cannot do that legally on the streets. So state law prevents us from. We can't have either a panhandling law or an anti-loitering law. What Springfield did is they made theirs a motor vehicle thing, so their law is really a car can't stop to hand money to someone. So that's not really the big issue in Eugene. I would say the bigger issue is activity on the sidewalks, and we, by state law, can't do anything about that.
Is there a list of those that goes out to hospitals, shelter care, etc.?
You mean in terms of the local agencies that relate to the hospital?
I bet that's what she means.
So, it actually tends to go the other way, which is that patients who are in the psychiatric institution, when they're ready to be released, there are different levels of next steps for them. And so shelter care would be one of those agencies that might receive some of those folks that are released from the institution but still need to live in a more managed setting. So
you guys,
that would be one of the coordinators.
I like the fact that you guys are all asking questions, and you're asking really good questions. It's not, I mean,
really
I really do.
Oh, you mean for the rest stop? Oh, okay. So one of the advantages of the rest stop, and it would also be an advantage if we had a permanent shelter, is that it provides a referral place. So one of the challenges for an agency like shelter care is they connect with someone who is living on the streets, and then when there's actually room for them to enter a program, they can't find those people again, right? People don't keep cell phones going, they're moving around. So the beauty of a rest stop really is that people then can connect to services, and when there's room for them in one of the programs, they can move into them. So yeah, it's an important relationship.
Okay, so hold on, you guys. We're going to get back to the mayor in a second, but first we're going to take a little station break here, but we're going to talk about wine.
Okay,
so come on.
I'm going to move off the bench here.
All right, come here, my dear. Introduce yourself to our friends out here.
Hello, I'm Amanda Littman. I am the wine buyer for Blackboard Wine Bar at Marche Provisions.
So you're the wine expert.
I'm the wine expert.
If I want to know which rosé is not sweet, you will tell me.
I will tell you.
So what do you have going on here at the Blackboard?
So what we have going on this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, is a cellar sale. We have collected a lot of wine that's just being unloved in our back stock and needs a home.
It's aging and perfecting, right?
It is, and it's ready to drink now. And we have some amazing older vintages of Oregon wines, 1992, 1985. We have, of course, Italian, Spanish, French, Greek, Portuguese. Anything you can think of that you want to have in your cellar, I guarantee we're going to have this Saturday, Sunday, Monday for an incredible discount.
So what's the discount? How many? I mean, what are people going to save? Is it different for everything?
It's going to be different for everything. We're going to price accordingly. There's going to be 20%, 30%, even 40% if you're nice to me. And
if you mentioned that you saw her and you thought she was the most beautiful wine person in the world.
He's correct. Yes.
Then you get 45% off.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, say that. Just tell her that, and she'll still get 40% off.
I will hold myself to that. Yeah.
What do you guys do here that you think other wine shops may not do? I mean, you really have a collection here.
We do, and what I do every month is I personally change the by the glass list. We offer everything by the glass and also by the half glass, so you can build your own flight. These wines are from all over the world, Northern Hemisphere only. So like I say, Spanish, Greek, Washington, Oregon, California, Portuguese. You can try something new every month. You can have as much or as little as you like, and we have incredible things to pair it with. We have oysters on the half shell that are always fresh,
oh my God.
different every day.
Those one time.
Yeah.
They were really good. So are you the woman who's down here in the mornings putting wine in your mouth, swishing it around and then spitting it out?
That's me, yeah.
I've tried to figure out a way, but that would just be gross. But you know, I mean, and you can't drink it because then by the end of the day you'd be like
that's true. Every Tuesday, yeah. I'm tasting upwards of 50 different wines every Tuesday, not swallowing them. Taking copious notes to find what's going to be the newest, best, tastiest thing for you guys every month. It
is fun to watch when you walk through, don't you think, Tanya? You walk through and you see, and they're and spitting it out, and I mean, one after the other, you're going, somehow that just seems so wrong. But I know that's the way you do it.
That's the way we have to do it.
Well, thank you. Okay, so it's this week. It starts Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, nice to meet you. We'll have her back on for next month. I think we're going to taste some wine. Tanya, wait.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you got to.
Okay.
You
Hi.
guys, we have an announcement too. You guys
Hi.
know Tanya? She's like a regular on
I
here.
am, and I'm feeling ill today, so.
Are you? I'm sorry. Because
I'm-
look at your
it's-
blue
I
hair is like
blue.
phenomenal. This
4th
was
of
for
July and
she
fair.
did
Yeah.
she did the fair and the 4th of July. So see, if you're smart, I'm telling all your secrets because we talk in the hallway. But if you're smart, you get your hair dyed for 2 events. So you can do the 4th of July
Yeah.
and the Oregon Country Fair. But you got to make sure you get the right color. So she got blue. You could have done red, blue, or white.
I could have.
I
but
did the white.
blue
See, if you
goes
put
with
us
my eyes.
together,
I know you can.
we
do
had a
blue.
redhead, we'd be a flag. So
We digress.
we always do. That's what makes this show really
Wait,
fun.
that-
Yeah, when you lean on the table, it does that.
Don't do that.
Okay, we have an exciting announcement.
Oh, well, no,
The
so,
chef.
Yeah, so Rocky Maselli is back in the house, if you haven't already heard. That's Stephanie Kimmel's son-in-law, and he used to be the chef at Marche, and then he went down to San Francisco, big city guy, to do chef things down there, and he's back at Marche now. And we just had a new menu come out on Tuesday. Tons of great things. What is that?
Oh, for some people, their phone will freeze
Oh,
up.
okay.
So we're not frozen, Bill. You're good.
I'm not frozen.
No,
it's actually quite
we're
nice out.
Warm. So he's back.
So he's
and-
back, so we have a new menu. He's doing tons of great stuff. He's doing a special dinner next Thursday night. It's the first one, I think it's the 20th. You can buy dinners at the demo kitchen, and he'll prepare a whole, oh my gosh, the meal looks amazing. Go on our website to check out the meal, because again, I'm sick and I can't remember anything that's on it.
But Provisions Market Hall.
Provisionsmarkethall.com. You can also buy tickets in Blackboard and sit with Amanda all night, and Rocky's food will come to you and she'll help you pair it, and there'll be great stuff there. Anyway, so Rocky Dinners, he's going to do those once a month. This will be the first one. He's also doing Cicchetti. It's a Friday night thing, 5 to 8. Super amazing. It's like this Italian culture thing where apparently in Italy, all day, every day, they just stand around and drink Aperol spritzers and Prosecco and eat snacks on toothpicks.
We could make that happen here.
So we only do it here from 5 to 8 on Fridays.
No, I think you and me and Lucy, we should all sit down and just bake this a
I'm
new
like, wait,
thing.
they do that? Like, I started Googling it. I was like, they do that everywhere?
And then let's
What?
add a
All
siesta
the
in
time.
there, because we'll probably have to.
Right. Then you need a siesta afterwards, and then you go back and get your Cicchetti on. You do it again. So
That's why we only get to do one show a month, because we
Right.
would be dangerous.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, good.
Anyway, so you'll meet Rocky probably next
Next month,
and
we're gonna bring him on the
he'll
show.
sample and do stuff. But he's back, and you should come to Marche
That
and
made
try
the
the new
mayor
menu.
smile. So we're going to have
And-
Rocky and Neil. Yeah.
I know. Anyway,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks for
thank
doing
you.
this. All right,
Okay,
Lucy,
thank
come
you.
here.
Okay, my turn.
So Lucy, one other thing I wanted to remind you guys about too. Tonight here at the Fifth Street Public Market is their Thursday night music series. It's the heart of this, the heartbeat of Eugene. And upstairs on the second floor and the bottom floor too is going to be full. Shelley James and the Music Box. The Music Box is basically Cal, her husband. They're going to be here tonight performing, and we know of already 150 people who are showing up. We had them on yesterday. They're so charming and so nice and so popular in Eugene. So that's tonight from 6 to 8. All the upstairs businesses and the downstairs business will be open later. And you can come down and just sip on some wine, have a beer, have a hamburger at Northwest Burger, and enjoy some really beautiful music. So it's going to be here. I'm going to be here. It's going to be really fun. I've been black screened for a few minutes now. What is going on? Well, other people are on there, Ashley.
Somebody says I'm up now, so
Okay, so we've got a couple more minutes. Anything else we should talk about before we go?
let's see. We talked about the councilor. So coming up this Monday is actually a very big day for the council. We have a meeting that starts at 5:30 and will go as long as it takes us, because we are doing the final discussion, deliberation around the Envision Eugene process.
Okay.
And so as some of you will recall, this is our big long-term planning document. It's been in the works for about 6 or 7 years. It's part of our requirements to actually meet state land use laws. And so we have two pieces to it. One is a proposed expansion around meeting our need for parks, industrial, and school space. So there's a new sort of industrial area that's being added out near the airport, and a new park area in Santa Clara. And then we talk about the other piece is around residential and land that we have available for residential. And
Is that a meeting the public can come to?
Yeah,
then?
it's a meeting the public can come to. It'll be in Harris Hall, 5:30, so you can come hear the final presentations around that and council deliberations on it. And so two pieces. It also the county has to weigh in on this proposal as well, because county land is involved, and so it's a big deal. We're hoping that both pieces go through, and then we can go on to the next step of our planning. We're already kind of 5 years into this planning cycle, so the numbers are already old and stale in terms of population growth, and we're eager to just be done with this piece, go on to the next piece where we can start collecting the data and looking at the new real numbers for the next level of planning.
All right. Lucy,
So
thank you
deal.
for coming in every month, because especially
Thank
today,
you.
and you guys,
Yeah.
thank you for being so
Great questions.
Yeah,
Great questions.
and asking and showing that you're concerned and care, because that's why we do this, is because we know you can't all go to a city council meeting, but we can bring the city council meeting, or at least a version of it, to you from the mayor. So, and Provisions is good enough to every month sponsor the show, which makes it possible to do this. So Lucy will be back in a month. I'll deal with her people and we'll get her scheduled. She doesn't know when she's showing up. She just pops in and there she is. So
Right.
again, thank you.
I go where I'm told. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what being in
Thank you
politics
all.
is all about, isn't it?
That's right.
That's what I figured out really fast. All right, you guys, the one thing you can do for us is take this and share it on your page so that other people can kind of see what's happening and be aware of what's going on, and also find out what Provisions is doing. And don't forget the party tonight, 6 to 8, Fifth Street Public Market. Shelley James and the Music Box right here for you and your entertainment. All right, see you
Very
guys
fun.
later.
Bye-bye.
Tomorrow we're going to be in Cottage Grove for Bohemia Mining Days, talking about the golf course, talking to the town, seeing the festival, and we're going to talk to some gold miners as well. So it should be really, really fun. All right, National Popcorn Day, is it, Nancy?
Oh my goodness,
Well,
who knew? That's great.
somebody out there knows. See you guys later.
Thank